Coming at you from the AO Studios, it's the Fade Route with D and Z. Here are your hosts, D and Z.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Coming at you live from the AO Studio. It's the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk about the first month of the MLB season. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs and the winners and losers of the NFL draft. And we know the draft was last week. It started on Thursday and ended on Saturday, but we haven't got a chance to talk about it. So let's talk about it. The NFL draft was interesting.
Yes, it was.
The NFL received its highest ratings ever on a Friday and a Saturday, largely because of Shedeur Sanders' slide. Both of us had Shedeur going in the first round. Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback from Colorado and the son of legendary quarterback Deion Sanders, slid all the way to the fifth round, where the Browns traded up to get him. After the draft rumors circulated about his attitude, there were rumors about his 1-7 record versus top 25 opponents, taking too many sacks, and there were also rumors of owners plainly saying they didn't want him on their team and instructed their general managers to take him off the draft board. So, Z, ultimately, what happened with Shedeur Sanders?
I've never seen this before. We have never seen this before. We've never seen a guy who was a consensus top 5 pick just completely crater. And it all started back at the combine, right? He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything physical. Yep. And then he went to the interviews, right. And if you believe what you're told about the interview with the Giants, he came in unprepared. Like, Dable called him on it, and then Shedeur didn't like being called out. Like, if that's the case, then the Giants were within their right to say, no, we're not gonna pay this kid multiple millions of dollars just to kind of coast through this. Like, yeah, he's got talent. Like, the talent is not disputed. And we're going to get to ESPN's coverage of the draft where they just embarrassed themselves, particularly Mel Kiper Jr. Who right. Probably should be gone. And it's you wonder why Todd.
Really?
I'm going that dude, far, huh? He lost zip on his fastball, but I think he's done. I mean, he praised Jimmy Clausen. He praised Charlie Fry. He said Ricky Stanzi would have a great NFL career. He loved what he saw from Jamarcus Russell. He doesn't take into account that they're not robots. They're not just football playing machines. He loved him some Johnny Manziel. Johnny Football, baby. Where's Johnny Manziel now? Johnny Manziel couldn't hack it because of the off-the-field shit. Mel Kiper is very quick to dismiss the off-the-field stuff in favor of the measurables. And, Shedeur Sanders, his off-the-field stuff is non-existent, right? He seems to be like a spotless kid. And then you come to the watches and then the rapping and all the other stuff, all the dog whistles that scare the shit out of NFL GMs, right? The arrogance, the cockiness, the overly confident nature. He's Deion Sanders' kid. What the hell did you expect? Like, what did you expect from a man who is the son of Deion Sanders, who did not lack for confidence? This man once dumped a bucket of Gatorade on Tim McCarver's head during the World Series. Deion, you're a real class act. After coming from playing earlier in the day for the Falcons, I believe. Or was it the Niners? Or was it the Cowboys? I don't remember. Deion played on so many teams. So, was it a little bit of column A, a little column B? Because Cam Ward roasted him in the video of them throwing together. I would have had 75% completion passes too if I only threw 8 yards. If I was checked down, he said that. Now he's fucking with them. They're boys, like they're friends. But it's like if I was checked down Charlie, I'd have 100% completion. He called him check down Charlie. He called him.
Well, I saw the part where he said Shedeur asked Cam if you wanted to make a rap video or if you wanted to make a rap song together, and Cam was like, "No, I want to play quarterback."
I'm about football.
In the National Football League. Kind of focus on that right now.
I respect the hell out of
football
that
right now.
That's a damn good answer. And you know what? That shows me that Cam Ward has taken media training seriously. And Shedeur Sanders is, very much in that glitz, that glamour, that celebrity. There is humility in there, right? There is absolutely some humility in there, but GMs were just scared. They were just scared of what could potentially happen and how it ties to Deion, because Shedeur Sanders has no agent. Shiloh Sanders has no agent.
Yes. Well, now he does. Shiloh has one.
After
now.
what happened to Shedeur. It's like, Dad.
After what happened.
It's like, Dad, I love you. But
really.
it's very much like it. Now, I'll defer to you on this one. Is this worse than LeVar Ball? Because Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo, like, they all did pretty well for themselves in the NBA. Maybe not LiAngelo, but LaMelo and Lonzo got drafted pretty high, and they got their money.
Yeah.
So how much of this is like LeVar Ball, and how much of this is like something completely different?
It's hard to say. I think one of the things that I was surprised about at the draft was how misinformed the Sanders family was, right? That's how surprised I was. Now, this is Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, former media guy, was on NFL Network. He knows Jerry Jones. He knows a lot of people in football. He's also, I think, a very smart football player. I feel like he can evaluate talent.
Yep.
He can look at talent, right? This man had a party at his house. He had friends and family there. He had cameras there. And to be that far off on what happened is what shocked the shit out of me. I mean, when Shedeur finally got drafted, in the background they were taking down the tent that they had up on Thursday. That's embarrassing, man. Like, how are you so misinformed about where your son was going? Thank God they didn't go to Green Bay, right? Ooh. How bad would that have been if he went? So, I mean, listen, we were taught. I thought that he was going to get drafted in the first round just because there were teams there that needed a quarterback. We knew Cam Ward was going to go number 1, and we assumed that he would be the second or at the very least the third guy taken. But, I think really it's everything we talked about leading up to it. He walked into the Giants, tryout or the workout session. He walked into that interview with a $100,000 chain around his neck. Rumors are he took a FaceTime call from somebody while he was in that meeting.
And he stayed on it. He's like, nah, bro, I'm in a meeting. Bro, I'm in a meeting.
He stayed on it. He stayed on it. And he stayed on it. And if you're... I'm just thinking, like, if you're Joe Shane and you're Brian Daboll, you need to come out firing this year. Like, you got to win. You got to go 3-3 at the least, right? And after that kid leaves, you just both look at each other and like, I'm not putting my career in this guy's hands. He doesn't care about anybody but himself, which is a very Deion thing, right? And I think we've talked about it on the show before, but he's not his father. His father could say and do these things because his father could go out there and lock down the best receiver on another team. He could catch kickoffs and punt returns and return them back. He could take pick sixes to the house. Like,
well, that's also the thing, though. He was a corner. Position matters here. Shedeur's a quarterback. Like, Dion was at his worst a corner who couldn't tackle or wouldn't tackle, and a really good kick return.
Wouldn't tackle.
Like, he wasn't asked to be the leader of men that the quarterback is asked to do.
Right, but the only thing, I mean, I've heard Dion talk about his tackling before, and what I would say is he was a smart football player. You know, I'm not gonna hurt my shoulder, hurt my back, trying to tackle somebody that's got me by 50 or 60 pounds. Like, I'll grab him and hope somebody comes and helps. Like, so it's hard to I'm a cover corner. Like, my job is to make sure Michael Irvin doesn't go nuts today. And he did a couple of times on Dion, which I was very surprised to see the one-on-one numbers. But when Emmitt Smith gets the toss and comes around the corner, I'm going to just try to slow him down, get in his way. But to say I'm going to go tackle him one-on-one, I don't know about that. So I think the whole, everybody's saying that this was collusion.
If it was collusion, he wouldn't have got drafted.
There's no collusion because general man or owners are not that petty. Like, if they believe that you're the best player or you're the best athlete, they'll look past that shit. I think when it came down to looking at the talent, his tape showed a kid that holds onto the ball too long, showed a kid that was not very athletic, average arm talent, and struggled against top 25 teams. Okay? That type of player, not dynamic. He's not a dynamic player. So when you look at that, you say, okay, I'm not going to spend a first round pick on him. Okay? He's not first round talent, right? So then you get into the second round. Then you get into the third round, you're like, okay, third round, fourth round, usually when we're going to get a backup quarterback. We're going to get a guy that needs to learn how to play in the National Football League, and we're going to develop that guy. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, he could be a career backup. We don't know where the future holds. Now, granted, there are some people that stand out that winded up becoming good players, like a Tom Brady, like a Russell Wilson, right? But essentially, Brock Purdy. But essentially, third round and beyond is for your backup quarterbacks. So now, if I'm a team that needs a backup quarterback, do I want to bring Shedeur Sanders in when he's rocking a $100,000 chain and driving a $150,000 car, and then I've got to deal with how's that quarterback room going to look with him in there and probably one or two other guys. Then every time something goes wrong or something doesn't go well, I've got to hear about his dad and how I'm coaching the team and my play calling and how I'm going to use his son. That kind of gets to a team. It's like, do we want to do that? Do we really want to sign ourselves up for that? So I think that happened too in a lot of places, right? Then take into account where in the beginning Dion was saying that his son wouldn't even sign for
the
a bunch
Browns
of teams,
included,
right? In the beginning, and the Browns included, he was pretty like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Might do an Eli Manning situation. So now you've got teams saying, well, I mean, he's saying he's not going to play for us. We're not going to draft him. Then you have other teams that are saying, well, we're not in the running because we don't have a high enough pick to get him. Or you have the other team saying, look, we don't want him as a backup. So when you put all those three things in play, it limits the amount of teams that are really interested, right? And in my honest opinion, I have nothing to back this up. But I think the owner of the Cleveland Browns, the Haslams, traded up and drafted him to do him a favor. Because if you look at the Browns draft room when he got drafted, they didn't look happy. They didn't look enthusiastic. They were just like, I guess we're going to roll with 5 quarterbacks this year. I mean, it's not really what we were planning on doing, but okay. So I think he was going to go undrafted, which might have not been a bad thing, because then he would have gotten to pick his team, and he might have gotten more money just because he's Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
there's a lot to uncover here, but I mean,
this calls to mind though.
You
hate to make these parallels because the NBA draft only has 2 rounds, but is this a LeBron Bronny situation? Would you?
Yeah. And at one point, I think it was at the end of the draft on Friday, I was like, man, is Deion just going to start calling teams telling them not to draft his son? Because now it's like, well, fuck it. Like, I don't need a 4th round or 5th round purse. We'll go pick our team. I started to think that was a possibility, you know? It just shows to show you also how different the NFL is than the NBA. I posted a comment and made it funny. It was like, Shedeur wishes his dad was
100%, dude, because 144th pick has a slotted amount. They're not going to pay him like the Lakers paid Bronny. Like, they're going to stay within their budget because that's practice squad territory.
Well, Z, think of it this way. The Cleveland Browns passed on him numerous times.
Yeah.
The Steelers passed on him. The one that really got to me, though, was the Raiders passed on him. Meanwhile, Tom Brady is in that draft room. Tom Brady's been mentoring Shedeur for the last couple of years. Knows him very well. Knows Deion very well. So Tom Brady didn't even want the heat.
Jerry Jones didn't want the heat.
Jerry Jones didn't want the circus, didn't want the heat.
Jerry Jones is Mr. Heat.
So when you take into consideration that, Z, I mean, it's just like, wow. That's why I'm so surprised. Like, Deion didn't know it, and then you also wonder if somebody told Deion that he was going to get drafted. But then again, you're around a bunch of yes men, right? The other part that hurts him is he didn't have an agent, right? The agent is the guy that's making the calls, like talking you up, getting a feel for the situation, and being real with you. Your agent's going to be real with you. The Shedeur, you gotta, the Giants' feedback was pretty negative. I don't think we're in the first round anymore. We're maybe in the second round. Hey, Shedeur, you didn't really light it up at your pro day. You're probably sliding back to the 4th. Like, there's nobody being real with this kid, right? There's nobody taking the, putting the realness.
There was
of
one
what's
person
going on.
There was one person, the guy who prank called him.
What? Who? Oh, and then there's nobody lobbying for you, right? There's nobody going to bat for you. So I think that also hurt him. It would have been better if he hired an agent, and the agent would have been like, okay, you're going to do these 5 drills at the combine. We're going to go all out on the pro day. When you go to the interviews with the teams, wear a suit, look presentable, tuck your chain in, don't answer your phone. When you go to the chalkboard, know your shit. So if you're just showing up and you're talking like a thug, you're talking like a clown, they're just like, not to play quarterback for the New York Giants. I heard this from a beat reporter for Pittsburgh. He was not even on their draft board. He was not. They had a 1st round grade for Jackson Dart, a 1st round grade for Cam Ward. He was not evaluated. That's some wild shit. That's some wild shit.
They waited. I mean, they waited. They took Will Howard. Like, they bided their time and seemingly got their guy. And we'll see what happens with that. But you're looking at it, and it's just like, all the sizzle, right? Got all the sizzle. And even the tape is divisive because you have people running to Shedeur Sanders' defense about what he is able to do. And you know what? He was able to put up 74% completion. It's true. He was able to do that. He had 37 touchdowns. He had those are the numbers. And then the numbers are what the numbers are. And then he's 1-7 against quality competition. I believe it was 1-7. And then it was the debate was, well, look at all the wide receivers that Colorado, Colorado sent to the NFL in the draft. Who got him the ball? Well, that's true. That is true. He facilitated the offense. Both things can be true. You can facilitate the offense. You can have 74% completion and still not be seen as a credible next level quarterback. Like, both things can be true depending on the eye of the beholder. And, Shedeur Sanders has the motivation, right? He was supposed to go number 2. Number fucking 2. Right? And then he went to 144. He saw his teammate, Travis Hunter. The Jaguars traded up to get him, right? Gave up a king's ransom to get him at number 2 because they feared that he would be gone. Nobody feared that Shedeur Sanders was going to be gone. Nobody.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
if that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. But the NFL has a way of humbling you. Either the game itself will do it, or the process of it will do it. Because, we've seen the process. We understand what the combine is. It's kind of like a meat market. It's kind of like a cattle situation. They take your measurables. You do a couple drills. You bench press. You do your vertical, and you have your mental tests. Like the whole Des Bryant thing about whether they asked if his mom was a prostitute. Like, they're trying to get under your skin. They're trying to piss you off. They're trying to see what your breaking point is. Like, is it, is it fair? Is it right? No. But you're being tasked with being under extreme pressure, with extreme expectations, and you have to be able to hold your poise. So I understand why you would say some crazy shit like that. But to go in there and act like you're above it all, that was a bad look. But the Browns have quite the quarterback room, because not only did they take Shedeur Sanders, they also drafted Dylan Gabriel. Not to mention Deshaun Watson's still there. Plus, they traded for Kenny Pickett, and they signed old man Joe. Joe Flacco's there. So, yeah, you make any sense of this quarterback room?
No, I don't. So the question becomes, who's going to be cut, traded, who's going to be put on practice squad? They're not carrying 5 quarterbacks. I think the new rule allows you to dress 3 guys, right? Of really just 2 are active and 1 can only come in if 2 guys get hurt. What are we doing? You
can't do anything with Deshaun Watson, right? He's injured.
I mean, if you're Kenny Pickett, if I'm Kenny, I'm like, trade me. What am I doing here? Like, when I got traded here, I was excited about it. I was like, okay, I'm going to play. I'm definitely going to play. Great. Then they signed Joe Flacco, and you're like, all right.
I could beat him out.
It's fine. I could beat him out, and that's not so bad. And then, you're watching the draft, and they draft Dylan Gabriel, and you're like, all right, that's fine. I'm better than him. And then it's like Shedeur Sanders, like, what the hell is going on here? What are we doing? What are we doing? So the 3 guys that I'm going to say they carry into the season, I'm going to say it's going to be Joe Flacco. It's going to be Shedeur Sanders, and it's going to be Dylan Gabriel. And they're going to wind up having to trade Kenny Pickett. and Deshaun Watson, is getting $46 million this year and $46 million next year. I don't think he can even play this year, but that's the route I think they go.
Oh, Deshaun
What do you think's
Watson.
going to happen? I can't imagine Kenny Pickett staying and playing here, because then you're going to have to either cut one of your draft picks or you're going to have to put one of them on practice squad. You'd be remiss to put one of them on practice squad, because that means anybody can pick them up. So you don't want to do that. You're not going to cut Joe, because Joe is the only stable guy, and he did very well in Cleveland. So I don't think you're going to get rid of him, because you know that, first of all, he doesn't get hurt. And if I really need to start somebody, he's not going to embarrass us. He can at least throw the football around the yard. What do you think they're going to do?
I think that from a PR and optics standpoint, they can't get rid of Shedeur Sanders. Like, they're kind of stuck with him. Like, could you imagine if you had that circus that was the NFL draft, and then you turn around and you're just like, yeah, he actually wasn't worth the 144th pick?
So maybe he goes to practice squad. Because you're not worried about another team taking him.
Multiple teams passed over him multiple times. So unless they he gets invited to training camp, he balls out, and then somebody says, you know what? I changed my mind. Like, I really want him on my team. Right? I mean...
Well, it's funny you should say that, because let's talk about fifth round quarterbacks the last decade. Let me know if any of these really stick out to you.
He stinks.
Spencer Rattler.
He just retired.
Jordan Travis. Right.
Oh, he sucks too. He played for the Cardinals.
Who? Dorian Thompson.
DTR, baby. Traded for Kenny Pickett. Who?
Sean Clifford. Yeah.
Oh,
Jaron
in Minnesota.
Hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Traded to Minnesota.
Sam Howell. Good quarterback.
Yeah.
Good player, though. Good player. I mean, if McCarthy can't go this year, I think he can. Yeah. He can do well there.
Oh,
Jake
God.
Fromm.
I remember Jake Fromm. Mr. Stick
Easton
to you, pal.
Stick.
He's the backup for Michael Penix. No, he's the... Where'd he end up? Oh, he's in LA.
The Rams.
Who?
Clayton Thorson. Yes.
Oh, the immortal Mike White.
The P-Man.
Mr. Peterman.
Nathan Peterman. And Kevin Hogan.
Kevin Hogan? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Hogan. Okay, I remember Kevin Hogan.
Kansas City Chiefs. And I'll give you another trivia. The highest paid quarterback ever drafted in the fifth round? That will be Mr. Mark Brunell, whose career earnings were $75 million.
Mark Brunell, I mean, that was a steal, man. Mark Brunell was an anchor for the Jags. He was legit. It's crazy.
Legit. There is a path for Shedeur. It's very dark. It's very crowded. Not very safe, and it doesn't look very good. But there is a path. But if we're talking about what you're talking about, the optics of everything, you put him on. I have a bad
feeling that he's going to play, though. I have a bad feeling that
he's
Flacco. You say
he's definitely going to play. They're all going to play. They're all going to play.
You're saying Flacco doesn't get hurt. I mean, he's our age, man. Like, those hits, they hurt more. They hurt more. You get more sore. You get more beat up. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He was spry and ready to go, and then his leg exploded. So, crazy things happen. And you just traded for Kenny Pickett. You just traded DTR for Kenny Pickett. So I doubt you just traded an asset for him. I got this feeling like Dylan Gabriel might be the odd man out here, especially if he doesn't play. If he doesn't,
in the sense of what they're gonna wait, that's their third round pick? And what are they going to do?
either
They're
cut
going to
or
cut him?
practice squad him, because you figure there's some sort of injury exemption that they can put on Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I could see them putting him on practice squad. That's fine. So Dylan Gabriel goes to practice
And they
squad,
carry 3.
and then they carry, and Kenny.
I say
starts?
Flacco starts. Flacco is still better than Kenny
Flacco
Pickett
starts.
ever will be. No offense to Kenny Pickett, but you ain't Joe Flacco, son. But you're not there yet. Just the way you wind your way out of Pittsburgh, like that doesn't do it for me, pal. So you'll get your burn. Don't worry, you'll get your time. Shedeur will get their time. Everybody will get an opportunity here. So you're on Cleveland. It's not like you're on the 72 Dolphins.
I mean, should he go to the USFL? Is that an option for him? You could pull the old Jim Kelly, Steve Young
USFL
shit.
or the UFL. Like you can always, could you imagine the media circus with that? Like Deion Sanders taking his kid to the league run by ESPN and The Rock. Like that could be friggin' insane. I think that, I don't know if he was drafted, but the CFL is also an opportunity, is also a possibility, because they just held their draft. I'm not sure if anybody picked them up.
Sure.
You got options. You absolutely have options. But if your aspiration is to be an NFL quarterback, like this is when you put your big boy pants on. This is when you do the Tom Brady and said, okay, you motherfuckers were taken ahead of me. I'm going to outwork all of you. I'm going to outplay all of you. And then I'm going to get there. And it just takes a freak injury, right? It took Mo Lewis destroying Drew Bledsoe, and that unleashed the Patriot reign, right? That unleashed the Patriot dynasty. So crazy things happen.
Well, I think the difference there, Z, is that Tom was working hard, all the way up to that point, right? It's like when he was in Michigan, it was him and Drew Henson, and Carr wouldn't make a decision until pretty much the day of the game, and even when you were playing, he went with the hot guy in the second half, and then Tom gets drafted by the Patriots and tells Robert Kraft, "This is the best decision this organization's ever made," and then continues to work his ass off. The first year doesn't play. And then the second year, he's, looking better than Drew Bledsoe in training camp. I don't think Shedeur has that work ethic. He already thinks he's better than everybody, like his dad did. Right? He's walking in there thinking, I'm the best quarterback here. You don't think he's going to walk into that Cleveland locker room thinking he's the best quarterback? That's the way it is. And I don't think Tom did that. I think Tom was like, I want to be the best quarterback, and I've got to work my ass off every day to get there.
But that's
I don't
also
think he has that attitude. And I don't think his father did either. I think his father was just better, just gifted, just a specimen, right? I'm not saying Deion didn't work hard, but Deion was just very gifted. He had it.
He was almost able to out athlete Bo Jackson. That's all you need to know. Almost. But it's one of those things that it goes to show you how far things have come and how things have changed, because a player, a rookie, going in there with that kind of attitude in the past, they would have shit in your bag, they would have ripped up your clothes, they would have done like all sorts of, hazing crap to make sure that you got humbled, right? Like I said before, the NFL likes to humble and will humble you, either through the game or through the process. But you said that Tom Brady's mentoring this kid, but what is he mentoring him on? Because what is Tom Brady? Tom Brady had a good arm. Like, he's not the best arm we've ever seen, but nobody could fucking outwork Tom Brady. Nobody.
Yeah, and Tom's arm got better over the years. It started out where he even admitted he said he couldn't throw, And then it wasn't until he tried the new training method for for flexibility. I think it was finally in the I want to say he came up in 01. I think it was 03 or 04 that he finally really started to throw better. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to look, but the Browns have spent a lot of money and a lot of draft picks into quarterbacks, and they need a lot. Is this what Myles Garrett was sold on?
Well,
is this what they were trying to tell him?
I mean,
it's going to be great. We got this. We're gonna use 2 draft picks on quarterbacks, and we're gonna be ready to go. We're gonna have 5 quarterbacks in that room. We're gonna win some games. How about I give you a bunch of more money and you sign this paper and you stay
I'm still
here.
convinced that we were right on. We were spot on that he was sold a bill of goods on the prime package. That if Stefanski gets off to a shit start, we'll just bring in Dion.
Which can still happen.
Yeah.
Which can still happen.
It's absolutely within the realm of possibility because they have Shedeur. Like, you called it, you got it.
Yeah.
You nailed it. A little later than what you thought.
Step outside of your safe area and make a statement without saying much. With FCK Clout Lifestyle Apparel. Embrace the colorful chaos and stay emotionally regulated in their graphic tees, hoodies, snapbacks, accessories, and more. Go to fckclout.com today and check out current season and past season merchandise for men and women. Get it while you can. That's fckclout.com. Check them out today. fckclout.com.
So I don't really agree with the Shedeur Sanders pick, but other than that, they did okay, the Browns. Who are your winners and losers from the NFL draft?
Well, let me start with the losers. Let me start with the biggest loser, in my opinion. The San Francisco 49ers. I didn't like what they were doing at all, man. Like, they absolutely reached for a project with their first round pick.
They just gave George Kittle an extension.
They drafted. Now, they have certainly a lot of draft capital, so they were using their draft to fill as many holes as possible. But with their 11th pick, they took Mykel Williams out of Georgia, who is an extreme prospect. Not a lot of playing time, not a lot of tape, and what we saw was very inconsistent. So, like, this is the guy that you're gonna put on that line opposite Nick Bosa. That's what it's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure about that? I think bully for you, I guess, but I really there's nothing there that was like, God damn, that was exactly what they needed. And another team that didn't wow me, I not really sold on the Bengals, right? I mean, you're looking at their first round pick again, another guy who's a potential guy. Like, you're dealing on potential. That's great. That's wonderful. But potential doesn't really do it. You eventually, you took Shamar Stewart at 17, Demetrius Knight. They also didn't have a lot of draft capital. They only had 6 total picks. Like, you gotta swing. You only got 6. You gotta swing for the fences, man. You gotta get it. Especially if you're still intending on trading Trey Hendrickson. Does this mean that Trey Hendrickson is staying now, or did they draft his replacement in Shamar Stewart? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I'm confused. And the Falcons, like, okay, only 5 picks in the entire draft. They got 2 edge rushers, so they're 2 safeties and an offensive tackle. Okay, like, did you get the best bang for you? You got Jalen Walker, right? Jalen Walker is a solid player out of Georgia. So let's see if you got the bang for your buck there. But I think they needed more. They definitely needed more. But as far as winners, I got to start with the Ravens. I got to start with your Ravens. They got Malachi Starks out of Georgia, good, solid safety. Mike Green fell to them at 59. Yes, there are multiple sexual assault allegations that you need to be concerned about off the field. I mean, you didn't hear about that on ESPN. You had to hear about that on NFL Network. So I'll tell you that much. But they got themselves a hell of a football player. Kind of a dirtbag human being, if you believe what you're told.
Yeah, and how about them drafting Poughkeepsie's own Ozzie Hutchinson? Well, they didn't draft him. They signed him as an undrafted free agent. He actually played for a friend of the program, Clinton D'Souza's Spartan Hill, Spack and Kill Spartans. So congrats to him. Hopefully we'll get a chance to get up there and see him play.
Ravens also drafted Tyler Loop, kicker out of Arizona. Does this mean that Justin Tucker's days are numbered, or is this some competition in camp? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So I like what they did. They fortified the offensive line. They fortified the defense. They brought in LeJontay Wester from Colorado. Maybe he becomes something. Maybe he becomes a kick returner. We'll see. But they got really good bang for their buck. Based on what they needed and what they got, people are sour on the Panthers. I think they did okay. I think they did okay with what they got. Could they have done better? Maybe. They took McMillan at 8. Maybe they could have gotten somebody better, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So they really they liked him a lot. Bears did well too. Loveland was considered a little bit of a stretch, but they seem to like him. He's more of like a wide receiver than a tight end, so that could be helpful for Caleb Williams, especially since you have Cole Kmet already. And then they went and got Shamar Turner out of Texas A&M at 62, so he fell a little bit, but overall, they definitely did a good job in building outwards. And yeah, if we let's look at the local teams. Since we are a New York-based show, let's kind of take a quick look around that. The Giants traded back into the draft to get Dart.
Well, let me give. Yeah. So let me give you my winners and losers. So you were about to talk about the local teams. It's the only reason why I cut you off, because I actually think the Giants won.
Me too.
I think they had a really good draft. They get Abdul Carter, right? And so you're already talking about a top 10 defense, right? With Dexter Lawrence, Burns. I think when I think about the Giants defense now, the word I come up with is intimidating. I think their defense is going to be very intimidating. They're going to put pressure on the quarterback. They're going to clog up the line. I really like that draft pick for them. And then they trade up for Dart. And when you think about it, right, they're going to have Russell Wilson, who I believe is on a 1-year, $20 million deal, if I'm not mistaken, who is a Super Bowl champion, former third-round pick. We can talk about how his skills have diminished. He had a shit end of the season in Pittsburgh, but he knows his stuff. He can come up to the line of scrimmage and be a field general, right? Then on the other side of the whim, you have Jameis Winston, who's a gunslinger. He's a thrower. I'm going to get it in there. I'm going to throw it. I'm reckless. I'm careless. That's who I am, and I don't care. He's going to be in a quarterback room with those two guys. Oh, and Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
So, you can get into a situation where, Russell Wilson plays this year. He leaves. Then you're going to have Jameis Winston for another year. And then Dart could be ready to go. Dart could be ready to go in next year. He could be ready to go in 2 years. So I'm interested to see how he develops. I saw him on the Gruden quarterback camp. Seems like a good kid. Seems like he can throw. Seems like he knows his stuff. So I liked him. I agree with you also. I like what the Bears did. I love Loveland. I love it. I love it for their offense. I love it.
Oh, I love
it. I think the Bears are gonna put up some serious points this year. I think Caleb is going to definitely grow under Ben Johnson now. Solid move there. Losers. The first loser I think about is Detroit. For a team that lost their offensive coordinator, lost their defensive coordinator, and just got smoked at the end of the year, like teams putting up serious points on them, they didn't get any defensive players. For some reason, they decided to like go offense, which I don't really understand that. They take the Tyleik Williams, the defensive tackle from Ohio State, but then they go guard, wide receiver, guard. And then in the 6th round, you take Ahmed Hassanin, an edge rusher. Okay. And then you take Georgia safety Dan Jackson, and then you take Dominic Lovelet. That's not going to help you guys out. I think they should have went linebacker in the 2nd round, and they probably could have went with an edge rusher in the 3rd round. I thought offensively they were fine. I don't understand why they went so much on offense. And then my other loser is the Steelers. I thought the Steelers botched it. They're just putting too many eggs in this fucking Aaron Rodgers basket. I mean, they did wind up taking a quarterback, but they didn't take him until the 6th round. And they took, I believe, Will Howard. Yeah, Will Howard from Ohio State. It's like, all right. I mean, Rodgers, if you do take Rodgers, he could still get hurt again. And then who's playing quarterback? They go with the defensive tackle, Derek Harmon from Oregon. He's okay. Then they go running back, Caleb Johnson. I mean, yeah, I guess we're just going to go right back to that well. But yeah, I didn't particularly care
they did
for
need to replace Najee Harris. I get what they're doing with that. They refortified the defense, but the defense doesn't need fortification. They still have Cam Hayward. They still have TJ Watt. Like, yeah, I get what you're doing, but they still need a quarterback unless they plan on Will Howard like being the guy. Because Aaron Rodgers. Like, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers, like. He still hasn't signed. Is he in the darkness? Like, what is going on here? Where is he? Where is Mr. Rodgers?
What happens if he decides he's not going to come back?
Yeah. Shit.
Should have got
you're putting your eggs in this basket, and he's already pissed off his potential teammates because the process is going so long. And yeah, it's like, dude, like, shit or get off the pot, but you're fucking around here with people's livelihoods. You're fucking around with teams. So, I'm not as bullish on the Steelers as some people. They got a guy, but I don't know if he's the guy. Kind of like the Saints. The Saints got a guy. They took the Louisville quarterback in the 2nd round, but is he the guy? Or is he the guy that's going to get you to the guy next year? Like, he's the guy before the guy.
The guy before the guy. Well, and like I know we say it like we're draining water from a rock, but next year is the quarterback draft, where I project 8 to 10 quarterbacks going in the first fucking round. It's going to be that deep. I project Cleveland having first the number 1 overall pick, and then taking Arch Manning. That's my projection now. You can mark this
there
episode.
You go, guys.
I'm saying it right now.
There it is. Mark it down right now. But another team that I like what they did. I like what the Raiders are doing. Like, you can tell that, like, they're trying to turn over a new leaf here. Like, they could have gone sexy, splashy. They do need a running back, so they took Genty. So we'll go with that. Jack Betch from TCU. Like, they brought in some players, man. Like, they need players on that roster, and they're bringing in players. So I think that Pete Carroll is going to have a well-stocked cabinet as he tries to escape the basement in the AFC West. So that's definitely something that needs to be happening here. But one of the teams, like, Yeah, like the Vikings didn't really do anything that wowed me. I'm kind of split on what the Patriots did. People are really kind of high on the Patriots. They got a lot of guys. They brought in a lot of guys. And they got Will Campbell from LSU. But then you look at his arms, and it's just like, dude's got T-Rex arms. How are you gonna be in the NFL as an offensive tackle with T-Rex arms? Like, I don't know if that's gonna work. Like, okay, or, good on you. Good luck. But back to what you're saying about the Giants. Fantastic job. They got their guy. They were aggressive in getting back into it. Everybody thought it was going to be Shedeur Sanders once they traded back up. They took Dart. We'll see. Like, he's got room. Like, he's got room unless the whole thing turns to shit, right? That's the only way I can see Jackson Dart really getting burned this year, is if everything goes to hell. And even DeVito gets hurt.
Shane or Dayball get fired. If everything.
I like
Scadaboo.
I agree with you on that. Scadaboo's going to be a good pick. He's going to be a good pairing with Tyrone Tracy. Tracy's the Lightning. He'll be the Thunder, kind of like Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. They're hearkening back to a bygone era.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
Moving from football to basketball, the NBA playoffs. Let's check in on that second season here. So both 8 seeds are gone. The Rockets are down 3-2. Lakers just sent packing yesterday. The Knicks are scrapping it out with Detroit. Bucks got sent home yesterday too. So how are you liking the
Giannis
NBA playoffs
almost getting
so
into
far?
a fight with Tyrese Halliburton's dad. It's like, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight
you up.
Right, you meet me out here, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. But
are we gonna fight now?
But you're looking at it like the Miami Heat. What the? Gee, thanks for coming. I guess. Like the Cavs just.
But see, what did you expect? They're an 8 seed. They're in a play-in. They don't belong in the playoffs. Basketball is ridiculous. I don't want to see the 1 seed against the 8 seed. Like the Cavaliers said, this was breakfast. They fucking slapped them so hard in the first half, they didn't even have to play in the second half. They lost their best player fucking 2 months ago, the Heat. It wasn't a game. It was never a game. It was over before the series started. It was over before the play-in started. Like, it's just ridiculous that we had to watch that. People paid for that. People paid for that garbage. And the same thing on the other side. Boston. That wasn't much of a series. No. Come on, man.
55-point blowout in a closeout game. And Darius Garland didn't even play. Like that's all you need to know. Thanks for coming, Miami.
Right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm talking about Oklahoma City.
Thanks for coming, Memphis.
John Morant's like, I'm not even going to play in the last game. It's not even worth my time. Like, we're not coming back.
Can you find me
again? Don't do
anybody
any favors. Who are you doing favors by having a 1 versus 8? Just give the 1 the bye. Move it along. So stupid. Let the 8 play each other for something. Let all the 8s play each other. Put all the 8s in a tournament. Okay? Do that. And the winner gets like the 5th pick in the draft. Do something stupid like that. Come on. It's so stupid. That might sell tickets. Put all the 8s in a little tournament. How about that? Put both 8s in a series. Both 8s on both sides. There you go. Call it the
winner plays the mid-season tournament champion, the in-season tournament champion. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then they can play the G League champion, and then
the winner gets to come
relegation.
The NBA should go. The NBA should go to relegation.
That's what I'm talking about. Should go to relegation.
But
no, it was non-competitive. It was completely non-competitive, dude. That was horrible. What the fuck? If this is what we're putting out there, that's an issue. Like, the Knicks Pistons series, for all that we've been bitching about with the officiating and the Knicks' inability to close out a team that they should dispatch, like, it's been entertaining. It's absolutely been entertaining.
It's entertaining because the refs are making it entertaining. That's the only reason why it's entertaining. It's the only because I'm gonna tell you right now. I support the New York Knicks. I like them. I don't have any beef with them or whatsoever. But the Pistons are getting hacked and they're not calling fouls. Cade Cunningham is not even arguing anymore. He's just putting his hands up like, guys, come on. He's going to the basket against 3 guys. How is he not getting hit? How is he not getting contacted? All I do is want you to call it fair, but their whole belief, and this is from the NBA, is that the Knicks are ready. They've been ready, right? And the Pistons are coming, right? Same thing on the other side. They're doing the same shit with the Rockets and the Warriors. The Warriors are our team, but the Rockets are coming. So the Rockets aren't getting the calls. And it's horseshit. It's horseshit. You watch these games and it's like you're watching it just not being officiated fairly.
But you also, with the Pistons, you can't court this shit like JB Bickerstaff is doing. Like in his press conference, we're not afraid of physicality. We're going to bring it. Then fucking bring it. They're not, just do it, man. Like, don't turn and whine and bitch and moan. Give it right back. Give it as good as you're getting. Like, you want to take it back to old-time basketball? Take it back to old-time basketball, bro. Don't give me this, but we're not getting the foul calls. Don't say we're here for physicality. Don't say those things. Shut up.
I'm not going to say the refs cost
it should be
3-2
Detroit.
The Tim Hardaway was fouled. And granted, the Pistons were up. The Pistons were up that whole game, right? It shouldn't have come down to the last play. But the Pistons are home. You got to give them that call. You got to. You can't. And they bailed the Knicks out. They definitely bailed the Knicks out. And the Knicks are not, contrary to what our friend Clint D'Souza thinks, I don't think they're a better team this year. I think last year's team was a better team. Karl Anthony Towns hit some big shots. Big shots.
No.
But the defense isn't there, man. The defense ain't there. The defense is not there for him or for on the offensive. Or
you
for
brought
the
in
guard
Bridges.
position.
He was supposed to be a 3-and-D guy. What happened?
And he's missing shots. And my man's missing shots too.
And Brunson was 4 for 16
shots.
in the last game.
He had 16 points, which was his lowest point total as a Knick in the playoffs so far.
And he's got to be careful because that, think about what happened last year. They ran him into the ground and they fractured his hand against the Pacers. So it's inevitable.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. The injuries are.
It's Thibodeau. This is what we expect.
The injuries are coming. Not a doubt that the injuries are coming, but that's what's been. I watched the Nuggets Clippers. I watched their last game at a bar and it was insane. Like Jokic shot and then what's his face puts it back in. Incredible.
James Harden trying to play defense.
Good series. I feel like that's been a fair series and that's been a good series. The games I've actually seen, the games I've actually watched. But I don't think the Pistons series is being officiated very well, and I also don't think the Rockets series is being officiated very well. Draymond Green needs to get suspended. He needs to be suspended or fined. His aggression towards Segun, towards the Rockets, even towards the refs, is just ridiculous. Like, who wants to put up with that? Like, man, it's a basketball game, not a football game. He hurt Jimmy Butler on one of the plays. Jimmy Butler missed a game because
by his own teammate.
Because he was hurt by his own teammate. Like, he's just... I don't see the value in that guy on any team but
somewhere
the Warriors.
Jordan Poole is smiling.
I don't know if I've ever... Yeah, I just don't see it. Like, Dennis Rodman was a guy... He won with the Pistons. He won with the Bulls. He was an irritant. He was a good player, though. This guy... It's just annoying. It's annoying to watch. Complain about every foul. Every single call that goes against him, he complains about. Every single one. And he can't shoot. he hits the layups. He passes the ball pretty well. But it's just
he's one of those annoying
frustrating to watch.
AAU kids who looks the part, but then when he gets on the court, stinks up the joint. I get that.
Yeah, not fun to watch. So for me, the NBA playoffs have been a disappointment so far in those two series, but I really have enjoyed the Clippers series, and
I hear you. I hear you. Like, I'm enjoying the Knicks series just because, like, it is a throwback a little bit in terms of the physicality of it, and it's cool to see the Pistons in. You know, it's cool to see these teams that are bubbling up. Like, you get a taste of the future, right? You're seeing it with the Rockets. That's great. But yeah, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Luka and LeBron are on the golf course. Like, this was supposed to be like a big deal, and they got bounced by Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves. So, and then JJ Redick goes and plays the same five guys for a half, just desperately trying to get something going. Like, and he's talking about how there needs to be they need to be in championship shape coming out of this. So is that
what does he know? What the fuck does he know?
He won something at Duke. Like, that's
that's
I mean, that's about it. He won the fourth. He was the head coach of his son's fourth grade basketball team. I think they won orange slices.
Great.
They got a free pizza.
I heard he won a
spelling bee.
Spelling contest at one point.
He was voted most likely to succeed. I don't know.
It was just inevitable for the Lakers. It was a flawed team. They put up a fight, but let's be real. Were they really a 3 seed? I don't really think they were a 3 seed. I think you're talking about a Minnesota team that was in the conference finals last year.
So are you saying that they were a 3 seed because of the upheaval with Memphis and Denver? Like, do you think that if Taylor Jenkins and Michael Malone didn't get fired, they would have been above? They would have been what, in the 5?
No, I just think it was just the way that the teams closed out the seasons. That's all. Minnesota probably should have won more games down the stretch, and they just didn't. And the Lakers were hot. They got really hot when Luka got there, which put them in a good position. Are you trying to tell me that if the Lakers had AD, they wouldn't have been better off? I could argue that they could have been better because they would have had a rim protector. They were a defensive player. So yeah, I would say, yeah, JJ didn't win nothing. He won like ACC tournament MVP twice. He was the national college.
So he won some individual accolades.
So was I. Yeah, he's a real role model. Yeah.
Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. And if you're looking for delicious gourmet handcrafted brownies, then look no farther than Sweet Life Brownie Co. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave. From the classic OV, to Dutch Apple, to my personal favorite cookie jar, Red Velvet, and many more. Check out their Instagram at sweetlifebrownie_co for their Friday brownie drops. Every Friday at noon, you see what they're making. Or give them a call at 845-641-3043 and tell them a D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownie_co on Instagram, Sweet Life Brownie Co. on Facebook, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co. Because there's always room for a brownie.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where I am on the NBA as this playoff season dribbles on. But let's talk about Major League Baseball because they just wrapped up their first month. What are your biggest surprises and what are your disappointments?
Well, the Colorado Rockies. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Who beat the Braves yesterday, even though Sale struck out 10 people. But he couldn't score more than a run.
The Braves are
so
certainly in the disappointment category.
Fantastic.
The Rockies are the drizzling shit. The fucking Orioles, dude. They can't pitch for shit.
12 and
18.
12 and 18? Should have held on to Burnsy, huh?
Should have kept Corbin Burns. Should have, take your pick. Shouldn't have. They should have kept Jack Flaherty. Maybe. I don't know. Even though Jack Flaherty wasn't great for them. So, I mean, it's already a race to the bottom with the White Sox and the Rockies. So the White Sox only have 8 wins. So they're 8-23. Nice job, guys. The Rangers are 500. I'm kind of surprised that the Rangers are 500. Marcus Semien is not having a great go about it, but you figure they're going to come back. Rocker is hurt. I think Jack Leiter is hurt. Shocker, a Leiter has blister problems. Oh my God. So there you go. The Angels are right where they belong, in last fucking place. So disappointment, but understandably so. Teams that are surprising. I expected a little bit of a dip from the Tigers, I expected them to be in second, kind of chasing the Royals, right? They're 7 games over 500. They're doing pretty good. Now it's a 3-horse race up there. They're not clear of anybody, but they're playing really well. And how about friggin' Spencer Torkelson? This guy, we were debating whether or not he was a major leaguer. Does he actually fucking belong here? And yes, sir. The answer is yes, sir.
I love the Tigers, man. Yep. I love my man Kerry Carpenter. It's my guy.
Fucking Gleyber Torres is hitting.
Torkelson's good. He's all right. But Riley Green is legit.
I'm surprised by the Red Sox.
Legit. I should have put a bet on them to win the World Series because their odds were great. I might still do it. It's not. It's the $10 bet.
The highest, I think, Fangraphs. I think it was Fangraphs. The team with the highest probability to win the World Series is the Chicago Cubs. I don't know, man. I don't know what you see on that roster that makes you think that they're doing all right. They're 6 games really over in that division. The Reds got off to a shit start. Now they're at 17-15. There's a lot of mediocrity so far in that division. But eventually Tito is going to work his way at the top, right? Alexis Diaz just got optioned to AAA. He's been brutal. He's been absolutely friggin' brutal.
Oh, your boy Jared
DFA. That's right. I forgot. Eddie Rosario's back, baby.
I told you that was coming. You can't. This is who he is, man. That's why they're not getting mad at him. It's just all right, man. You ain't gonna be here long. You don't hit. You hit like trash. You can't field. You're just a waste. We're not gonna get on you because you didn't run out a fucking double. Because you were so shocked that you hit the ball.
We'll take Jesse Chavez and Eddie Rosario for the 9th fucking time over you. We'll go get Adam Duvall again. Duvall. But you know what? And then the 3-horse, the Giants, the 3-horse race at the top of the NOS, dude. Giants are 19-12. Padres are 19-11. Dodgers are 21-10, and the Mets are 21-11. Those are your 4 best teams in the National League right now. So it's impressive. It is impressive. Now the Mets bullpen is falling apart. The Mets bullpen is absolutely falling apart before our very eyes. So we'll see.
Oh. What's up?
Diaz is fine. Hurt, he just had a hip issue. They fixed it. But their lefty, Danny Young, might have Tommy John surgery. Ryan Stanek can't find the plate now. He's going through some control issues. Stanek is good. They have a solid bullpen. Stanek. They're being overused right now. They're just being a little overused right now. So Mendoza has to do a little bit of editing on how and when he's using his bullpen. But hey, man, I'll sign up for 10 games over 500 a month in. So first place, first place, 3 clear of the Phillies. Right? So whom they swept. So there you go.
Yeah. So for me, my biggest surprise is really Aaron Judge. I mean, coming out last year in April, he was batting 205, 206. My man's batting 427. He's got 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. I mean, I know he still needs to come through in big moments, but it's a damn good start to the season. I think his average is 75 points higher than the next person. That's pretty ridiculous. I guess my next one is the Braves. Braves are my biggest disappointment. Still waiting for Acuna to come back. Kelenic was just sent down. +1 run differential, 14-16 record, and they just lost to the fucking Colorado Rockies, who I can't even name a Colorado Rocky.
Thinking is he's on the
Chris
IL.
Bryant.
That's surprising to no one. Herman Marquez,
Shocker.
those guys are still there. Marquez, Senzatella, those guys are still there. And then everybody else, who the fuck knows? But yeah, man, it is kind of breaking the way we thought it was. And just by looking at how things are going, Aaron Judge is a friggin' monster right now. He's tied for, it's a 3-way tie, I think, for number of home runs. It's him, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, and I forget who the other guy is. But
I have Cal Raleigh on my
20
Aaron
jacks. There you go. You got to combine 20 jacks. Nice job. All right, there you go.
Woo-hoo!
This guy's gonna hit.
How about Mike Trout batting 180?
Mike Trout.
But he's got 7 home runs. So he's tied for third.
So there's some production there.
So he's hitting home runs. I mean, listen, a lot of guys are slow to
Chris
start.
Sale's not doing great.
happened
We were
last year,
expecting big things out of Chris Sale again. It's like he came back.
Oh, I mean, he struck out 10 Rockies yesterday, but it's a
He's
real
a max
effort.
effort guy, you know. He's gotta get that whole 120 pounds behind the ball. It's all good, but yeah, the teams that we thought were going to be good are good. The teams that we thought were going to be bad are fucking atrocious. So it's not just bad. it's generationally bad. So it's something to be said, but things are definitely they're settling down a little bit. You can't expect, I firmly expect the Mets to come back to the pack. I expect the Giants to fade off. I expect, I expect the Rays to be better than they are. The Rays are not that great this year. So maybe they're not getting the guys that they used to get. Maybe teams are starting to figure out how to deal with the Rays. It's like, we'll give them the fool's gold. And yeah, it's just one of those years that we were both kind of wrong on the Guardians. I didn't expect them to be second place, 5 games over 500. I didn't expect that at all. I expected them to be hovering around 500. So we'll see. Time will definitely kind of level things out. I firmly expect some of these teams to start pulling away very, very soon, and some teams will start back to the pack. So baseball is a marathon, and that's the one thing that separates it from all the other sports, is that a hot start guarantees you nothing. But a painfully slow start, I mean, with the Rockies and the White Sox, yeah, you can already look forward to next year, guys.
Is your hair thinning or is your hairline receding? Scalp micropigmentation will fill in the areas where your hair is missing by creating a short buzz cut look. Micropigmentation is a non-invasive procedure that will create the illusion of hair follicles for 7 to 10 years. For people with alopecia, this could be a permanent fix. For people with scars on their scalp, this is a great way to camouflage a scar. Don't lose confidence or feel like you need to wear a hat wherever you go. Marquez Studio is located in the Bronx and is open for all your scalp micropigmentation needs. Consultations are free and appointments can be made any day of the week. Get your hairline back with scalp micropigmentation. The techs at Marquez Studio have over 30 years of hair cutting experience and can assist you with all of your questions. Call to schedule a consultation today, 646-221-8728. You can also visit them on Instagram at Bronx Marquez to see their gallery and view all their satisfied customers. Again, that is Marquez Studio, located in the Bronx, New York, 646-221-8728. 8728.
Fair or foul? Judging the more messed up stories of the week.
All right, boys and girls, we have statements, and it's either fair or foul. Fair or foul, number one, ESPN's coverage of the NFL draft.
I mean, we talked about it. It was kind of embarrassing with the Shedeur Sanders thing. And the funny thing is when he finally got picked in the 5th round, they had so much like tape and so much script like waiting for 3 days essentially because they thought he was going to get drafted in the 1st round, that when he finally got drafted, they used all that material and like 5 people got drafted while they were going through all the material. So because of their over, I guess, hype of him, right? Like 5 players lost their moment because the ESPN was busy covering Shedeur getting drafted in the
Not
5th
just
round.
the guys that were drafted immediately after him. All of the video, all of the hype packages surrounding the number 1 pick. Tennessee's on the phone, on the clock. You see Cam Ward pick up the phone and they cut to a video of Shedeur Sanders. What the fuck? Cam Ward is all about football, right? This is his dream. This is his moment. And you took it away from him. You absolutely took that away from him because you wanted to have the sizzle. You wanted the eyeballs. And it's completely foul. Mel Kiper Jr., I said it before, earlier on this show. He's done. Get rid of him. Send him packing. There are many people that do Mel Kiper's job better than Mel Kiper. Todd McShay, for one. But Todd McShay, he does his job very well. Merrill Hodge is really good at evaluating quarterbacks. Maybe because Merrill Hodge was a quarterback and kind of knows what the fuck to look for. I'm just throwing that out there. Like,
I thought he was
I'm
like
pretty sure he was a
fullback or
quarterback.
tight end or something. I know he played quarterback.
Either way, Merrill Hodge knows his shit. That's what I find interesting, is that Riddick was interesting
enjoy Louis
from a
Riddick.
GM's perspective. That's
Louis Riddick.
fine. Like he was very.
I like Mike Mayock and I like Todd McShay.
NFL Network did a much better job, but
I feel like Mel Kiper is kind of bought.
oh my god, dude, the check was in the mail.
Like it's clear. Right, it's clear. Like he's on people's payroll
100%.
to talk about certain guys, and I'm sure that I'm sure everybody is, but his is really.
Yeah. Well, we know
clear.
that the check cleared the way he was talking about Shedeur Sanders. My goodness, but I didn't mind. Louis Riddick is great. I enjoyed him. I can live without Greeny. Like Greeny can go. Like I'm done with Mike Greenberg. I'm sorry. Like he's jumped the shark. He's fucking annoying. He's annoying on Get Up. He's annoying on the NBA coverage. He's annoying on the NFL. Just go away. Like you.
I just don't know why they can't.
Because they
hire
paid
other
Stephen A.
people.
Smith.
Like why does Greeny, Wilbon, and Stephen A. Smith have to be a part of every show? Like I just don't. I'd like to see
It's a
other
good question.
people there.
It's a very good question, but I think it stems from the fact that they got rid of everybody else because they needed to pay him, they needed to pay Pat McAfee, and they needed to pay Stephen A. Smith. Money well spent. Money absolutely well spent. But they really, ESPN could use some culling, and they could actually use maybe a quarterback who can provide insight into this, because you look at their analysts, right? I mean, you have Booger. I mean, he's all right, but Booger's not going to give you much. He'll tell you like defensively.
No, I don't really like.
Louis Riddick is great
Booger.
from a front office perspective. I think that's somebody you keep. Reese Davis, I think, it was fine in his role. I believe Reese Davis is the guy who actually shut down Mel Kiper, finally. Like, bro, that's what we're here for. From what I understand, I did check it out a little bit. The college game day staff was actually a lot better at this because they watch them all the time.
Oh yeah, that's what I was watching actually. I enjoyed hearing Nick Saban talk. And Desmond Howard, right? Because I feel like they watch the games,
100%.
more than I did. And who's that other guy?
Not David Pollock. They got rid of him.
No, he does Thursday nights with Al.
Yeah, Kirk Herbstreit is good too.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And he does both college and the pros. So there you go. Kirk Herbstreit, put him on there instead of Mel Kiper. Like, I'd be fine with that. So, it needs to be tweaked because it was just so fucking embarrassing. And it became very transparent that he was not being taken just to keep eyeballs on the TV. It just very, very, very transparent that this was nothing more than a TV show at that point. Fair or foul, number 2, the NHL suspending Brandon Hagel of the Lightning, but not Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers.
Yeah, man. So I guess we're both in agreement that ESPN's coverage was foul. So I'm going to say that it's foul because Matthew Tkachuk's hit, the game was over. The game was over. There was no reason for that. It was unnecessary. It looked like he was trying to hurt him. It didn't look like a hockey play. So yeah, I'm going with his foul. The Brandon Hagel hit, you can argue that it was kind of bang bang. You can argue that he was making a hockey play. He wasn't trying to hurt the guy. I didn't think it looked as vicious as people were making it out to see. I understand his head was down and he was just picking his head up, but you got to keep your head up, man. Tkachuk looked like he was hunting him.
Well, he was hunting.
So that's my
in a 4-1 game. The fucker was over. So I'm sending a message.
4-1,
let me send that message. Well, message received, Matthew. Message received. And then Aaron Ekblad went after Hagel. So there you go. And then Hagel leaves the game with an injury the next go around. So there's your justice right there. So to me, it's foul. Absolutely. Like you can't be like the Hagel one was bang bang. The puck was not there. The puck was there for Tkachuk, but context matters. 4-1 in a blowout. You were just going to send a message at that point, as opposed to being in the moment of the game. And then Ekblad goes out for retribution on Hagel. So it was chippy. It was snarly. And it's exactly what you want playoff hockey to be between two division rivals who can't fucking stand each other. Like it's exactly what you want. For everything that the NBA playoffs are not, the Stanley Cup playoffs are exactly what you fucking want. And then at the end, they spit out the blood and then they go shake hands. Like, that's fucking fantastic. Like that's what gets my juices flowing as a sports fan. At the end of the day, it's bitter, it's intense, but then you shake hands and then on to the next one. We'll see. We'll get you next time. Like, hockey is the gentleman's sport for sure, as they try and rip each other's heads off. But completely, like, both of them probably deserved. Tkachuk probably deserved at least a game. But after what happened in the Four Nations, he's probably Teflon at this point. Fair or foul number 3. The Yankees removing Devin Williams from the closer role.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, he couldn't even close games that were in the bag. Like, yeah, I mean, he was really struggling, but I don't know if Luke Weaver's the answer. He's got a 9 ERA. Devin Williams is a 9 ERA. Yeah.
The airbender bending.
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know if Luke Weaver is up for the challenge, but I think removing him was definitely
absolutely fair. Like, you can't. Of course,
he was struggling. He was struggling in like not save opportunities.
No, like 4 saves in 10 innings, 12 hits, 12 runs. Yeah,
you look like Clay Holmes out there.
But you know what? Say what you will, cardiac Clay has not arrived yet. Well, you know, we were assessing what's going on. He's doing well. Yeah,
he's playing well.
It's a matter of time, like everything. Well. It's a matter of time, and at the worst possible moment is when cardiac Clay is going to arrive. But we kind of knew this was going to happen. Newsflash: New York is not Milwaukee. You need to be a different animal to survive and thrive as the closer of the Yankees. It's like being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it's a different there's 31 other guys, and then there's you. Like, the spotlight is just a little bit brighter. And Devin Williams is melting under that, right? 8 walks in 10 innings, 12 hits. No, absolutely not. A hit by pitch. Brutal. Absolutely friggin' brutal. Now, he may very well get this back. Luke Weaver demonstrated that he had his moments last year, but he was overused by Aaron Boone, as Aaron Boone is wont to do, because he still can't manage a bullpen. He can't manage a target. So, eventually he'll probably get another crack. Right now, he just needs a breather. He just needs his... I think he will.
You think he's going to get another shot? You would give him another shot?
I mean, if you look at the alternatives, right? Let's say that Weaver doesn't do the job. Who are they going to go to? Mark Leiter? Fernando Cruz? I think you kind of have to go back to Williams. If he can't go, if he can't start, shit. Stroman, you're good for an inning. 1 inning. Give me 1 inning, Marcus. Don't fuck it up.
Don't screw it up.
God damn it. Son of a bitch. Go sign David Robertson. He still wants the pitch. He's a free agent.
Oh, really?
He's a free agent.
He's out there.
The problem is he's 40.
I like him.
That's the thing. He's a man. He's 40. And it's going to take him a while to get up to speed here. They brought Adam Ottavino back twice. Like, he's already been DFA'd and released twice. Exactly.
Agent Zero.
I didn't even see what number he took. He was here and gone so quickly because Stroman has 0. He ain't getting it back. So, if he can right the ship and Luke Weaver struggles in the role, I think he could absolutely get another shot. But as of right now, to save this guy's season, you had to do this. So kudos to Aaron Boone for making the move. Now, it's up to Devin Williams to stay mentally engaged. He's got to accept this. He's got to use this as the opportunity to get his mind right, get his game right, and then when called upon, he can be the guy that they traded for. Not that, Nestor Cortez was so good for the Brewers, but it turns out, Caleb, they might have something in Caleb Durbin there. But the Yankees brought this guy in, like they thought he was going to be the linchpin of it. Lots of guys struggle when they get here because New York is a different animal. Give him time, let him settle in, and maybe he can salvage this thing.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade Store with DNZ.com today and check out our releases in apparel, accessories, drinkware, and more. Ever wanted an Alleged Superstar t-shirt? We got those. You want some yoga pants? We got those too. And we're not done yet. We have a lot of exciting collaborations and new products on the way. But check out what we have now at the Fade Store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade Store with DNZ.com. Who's the best of the worst this week in sports? The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award.
Alright, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It's time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our X account at FadeRouteDNZ, on our Instagram poll at FadeRoute Podcast, and on our Spotify. And you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said vote gets a shout out on this here show and takes home the coveted, wonderful, excellent ass trophy. And you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, D? Aaron Rodgers. You son of a bitch. I'd play for 10 million. How dare you do to me what I've done to you? How dare you do to me what I did to the Packers? Son of a bitch. But that's last week. This is this week. Who are your nominees for the Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right, so first up, I have the entire Sanders family. So misinformed with a draft day party with friends, family, and tents, when you should have known your son was not going to get drafted. The Sanders family, you are my Alleged Superstars of the Week. Number 2, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, Jimmy Haslam, asking the GM to trade up to get Sanders in the 5th round after they've already traded for Kenny Pickett. They've signed Joe Flacco. They drafted Dylan Gabriel. And they're still paying Deshaun Watson over $40 million this year and next year. Jimmy Haslam, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. And number 3, Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodgers is still not signed. And you didn't draft a quarterback into the 6th round, and you drafted Ohio State's Will
Howard.
What's his name? Will Howard. Come on, guys. Get with it. I know next year's the quarterback draft, but come on. You want to compete this year at a high level. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers are crying out loud. Pittsburgh Steelers, you are my
Act like a goddamn it.
You got Zeke.
Black and gold. You son of a bitch. Come on, pal. Well, I can't argue with that. You have a lot of great choices. I'm going to start with Kevin Gausman of the Toronto Blue Jays. Did you see this the other day? Oh my God. Game during the doubleheader against the Yankees. It did not go well for Mr. Gausman. 2 2/3, 6 earned runs, 5 walks, 3 hits.
My man.
So he got taken out of the game, had some choice words for the ump, got ejected from the game he was removed from, and he's so busy jawing at the ump, he did not see the dugout steps. He fell down the stairs into the clubhouse. Bruh.
That's amazing.
Look out!
Amazing.
Look out! Bruh. That's a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day for Mr. Kevin Gausman. Kevin Gausman, you are my Alleged Superstar of the Week. Number 2, the Utah Hockey Club, or the Utah Mammoth, or wherever the fuck you're calling yourself. So apparently, they have decided that they're going to change the name of the team. The only problem is that they're apparently they got some leaks, because this has already come out. The logo's out, the whole thing. You had people on X saying, "Welcome to the NHL, Utah Mammoth." The only problem is there hasn't been a team announcement yet. Oops. You got to clean that shit up. Utah Mammoth Hockey Club, Phoenix Coyotes, whatever the fuck you are. Winnipeg Jets. You are the Alleged Superstar of the Week. And number 3, the Los Angeles Lakers. Come on. You make that trade for Luka. This is supposed to be your move, right? This is when you take the next level. This is when you're supposed to do that because you're the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, you're at the club, right? You're at the crib, and now you're going to the golf course because you got knocked off by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, yeah, you can be sexy, you can be splashy, you can do all this shit. At the end of the day, you're at home, and they're not. And somewhere, undeservedly so, Nico Harrison is smiling just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because, yes, he looks like a jackass for trading Luka. But you didn't win with him. You didn't win. if the Lakers somehow won this year, Nico Harrison, oh boy, life would have been difficult for Nico. But his rope is just a little bit longer. Talking about championship shape or playoff shape. JJ Redick, figure it out. Los Angeles Lakers, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think we said our piece. Go to our X account at FadeRouteDNZ, go to our Instagram poll at FadeRoutePodcast, and go to our Spotify page and vote. And vote, and vote, and vote. And for our nominees.
You're better than that. Just do better. Just do better.
This has been the Fade Route with DNZ. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcast. So until next time, stay fade, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us a review, rate us 5 stars, turn on subscription notifications, and share on social media. Tell your friends and spread the word.